welcome to this week's episodes of The Calling. Follow your spirit all the way in. I'm your host, Homaya. Join me in this journey of self-awareness, soul frequencies, and spiritual revelations. Let's fly. Hey beauties, welcome to the Calling podcast. Today we have a very, very special guest, very dear to my heart, someone that I've spent, I don't know if to say time, because it's also way beyond time, spent love and care and devotion and attention with, and had the privilege to escort her in her growth, in her path of life. Mariah Lillelund, I hope I pronounced it well.
You did.
Thank you. Welcome to the podcast. I know that there are so many people so happy, I'm sure, to listen to this conversation. So we let them in to our field.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
Oh, beautiful. So, we chat a little bit about our growing common field and sharing about the importance to also lead by letting people become aware a little bit more of what it means to lead when you already are a leader, when you are already carrying a very specific signature, when you already channeled and brought to life modality. So for those who do not know Mariah, I don't know if it is okay that I would say that she's the mother of soul work.
It's so fine. Thank you.
And I remember the first moment that you told me something about soul work, and it felt like, oh, that is so clear. All the net was so clear. And I wonder how you felt. I know that you've built so much before you stepped into receiving support and mentorship. Maybe you can share a little bit of light of how was the movement into accepting and welcoming and calling in support, and what it is to carry something.
Yes, I think I had known on a very deep level for some time that I would love some support. So I had been looking around for what felt like a match. I felt that I had come to an edge in my evolution and in my business where I really, really needed to take an honest look at myself, at my boundaries, at how I was moving, because I had created a lot, I was holding a lot, and I was also exhausted. And I felt that I was not moving forward from a sustainable energy. And also I arrived to a point where I really felt that the next level of honoring myself, honoring my mission, honoring my business, and honoring the people I hold is to really make a profound next level of inner work with myself. And I'm so happy for that, because this, 15 months with you has really, really changed my life. It has changed the way I lead myself. It has changed everything.
I'm listening and I have like a full body shiver. Although I know the story and I know the path, and I was privileged to be with you. And yet having this mastery move of the next level cannot come from the same consciousness. That consciousness that I embody now took me until a certain extent. As I love to say, I took everything that I could from that potential energy. and it is time to tap into the next level, and how important it is that this shift is happening in the presence of someone that really care for you.
Yes. That really is everything. I didn't know what to expect when I stepped in, and everything you are and the space you hold and how you guide, everything surprised me a lot. Because I think that investing in mentorship for my business, I didn't expect to be pulled so deeply into my heart. Can we say that I died a couple of times last year? And I didn't expect who I perceive myself to be, and you can say my identity to completely dissolve. I didn't expect to switch from Danish to English overnight. And yeah. And when I look at it now, I can really see that the quality of love you soak yourself in is going to decide how many walls in your consciousness you're going to dissolve and move through. So I feel that your whole presence was calling me higher all the time, both on a conscious and an unconscious level. I told you once that I saw you installing these bells in my field that were calling from the highest love, and that the signal from those bells hit my system in all the places where I was blocking that frequency, where I was resisting that frequency, where I was leading myself from a frequency that was lower than that, and started challenging those places, which is amazing and beautiful. And I'm so grateful to walk in that field of bells calling me home. And I am grateful for choosing to walk there for as long as I did.
Yeah, thank you. It's moving me to hear that. And I feel that one of the beautiful, beautiful experiences in working with you was the language, whether it was a topic and it was also the medicine. We were several times speaking about being beyond language.
Yes.
And free from language. But also, we were speaking about metaphors and visions and telepathic messages and teleportation's presence, and that the initiation and the activation is way beyond a meeting that is happening once a week or once every 2 weeks, or the ability to communicate on Telegram. I believe that one of the things that were so meaningful and strong is that it was very clear mutual understanding that meeting and conversing is just the superficial, the final edges for the mind to get the message and maybe rest within it, but actually it is acting in a field.
Completely. And I remember the shift that really happened last summer, where I feel that the room I was in was completely flooded, and something really shifted, because from perceiving myself to be in this Zoom room with you and looking into greater possibilities and feeling the field and feeling everything that is a larger truth than that, I really felt this shift as to now my truth is that I'm actually playing in this field. This is who I am. I began identifying by it. And looking into that Zoom room felt ridiculous.
Yeah.
And yeah, so for a lot of our times together, I have had this. Yes, we're both in the Zoom room. We have an hour on Zoom, and the topic is this. And then also just knowing that this is so ridiculous because we are actually playing in paradise. We are playing in this vast field of eternal love. And I began seeing all the potential energy that we were creating and emitting together. I could see it flood the room with my own people when I was teaching. People began to write in comments that they could see you in the room also. So a lot of, yeah, I really felt that we moved into this state of oneness. And that is still unfolding inside of me and through my work.
Highest light.
Yes.
And yet, sometimes for people, they have questions. Why should they enter mentorship? To dwell in a space like that, to open a space like that, an internal space like that. Some people even sometimes are contemplating if to enter a mentorship for a place like that because actually they want to work on their business.
I totally resonate with that. I remember one of our first conversations where you said, Maria, we are going to work with you in intimate relationships. And I was like, I don't fucking want to work on me in intimate relationships. I don't want to be bothered by that anymore. I want to work on my business. And you obviously saw that this was where my biggest potential to open my heart more was. And also, I believe that what I have experienced and where I have gone in your presence is not something that existed in my perception of life before I entered. So I would not even be able to look at it and say, do I want to go in for that? Because I didn't even know that that existed. And I feel I'm so grateful because, of course, it was my choice as a leader, but it was also my soul pushing me to the correct place. And there's also an intelligence here that is much larger than anything going on in mentorship. And I felt that all of that came together. And I began navigating by a knowing. I don't think I have ever felt a knowing coming from such a deep place inside of me before. Well, maybe when I got my dog. When I got my dog, I spontaneously began making this sound that came from my core, like my system recognized her. And you can say that the knowing that I'm going on this path, I don't care how much money I will spend on it. It's only a number. It came from the same place. It just came from this knowing that is so beyond the mind.
I love it. It's so powerful. There were several things that came to me while you were speaking, and I would really love to highlight it in that context. One is that really the work with a mentor, a spiritual mentor, not any mentor, a spiritual mentor cannot be limited to, I'm going to work on my business or I'm going to work on my relationship, because there is a wholeness. And as this acceptance that I am a whole, I am something which is bigger than personality, which is bigger than one topic in my life, bigger than one aspect in my life, as that comes a personal, private perspective, then of course the feeling that, oh, we are also a field is really strong and meaningful. And then also the dynamic between I am bringing something to that field, but I'm also already signed up for that field to activate me in a certain way. And I feel that that is the second thing to highlight is, of course, we cannot know what will be the activation, because it's supposed to be the depth of our singularity. We were speaking many times about sharpen your pencil, become better who you are, more who you are, have your writing, have your word, have your presence, like really go even deeper and deeper and deeper in it. But we cannot know how it's going to happen. It's not only shading false personality, is also really doubling on our intuition, doubling on our light, doubling on our love, doubling on what is right for us, knowing that, like everything in nature, the most important thing is that, there's the nourishment and the blooming happening simultaneously. This flow, I would even say, is happening simultaneously. The rest of the world going to organize itself according to that. It's better that it will organize itself according to a truth, a truthful experience, a truthful presence, than a false identity, because this is also why we arrive into a place where we cannot breathe anymore, we cannot move forward anymore, we use all of our resources, we can become depleted or in a burnout or something like that, because you're using the wrong resource. While if you tap into your singularity, you tap into your heart presence, you tap into, oh my God, I am the one who channeled soul walk into this world. Maybe it's time to really sit on that chair and stand on that stage, because that is from where the fountain gonna come, all the energy, all the resources, everything. I feel that that is one of the things that was meaningful in the work with you. Opening the heart was towards yourself, towards the love that you are.
This really brings me into this question you ask once in a while: do I stand for my light or do I stand for my limitations? And I can really see how my personality was invested in standing for my limitation. And actually, I feel that you said false personalities. I feel that actually all personalities are false. That they're just this construction that makes out our limitations at the moment, the walls in our consciousness. And I have also been observing while unfolding Soul Walk how our body and mind are programmed to stand for limitations much more than we expect. And how necessary it is that there is a force of truth that is much bigger than that is invited in. I feel for me, it was invited in through our mentorship. Like you're this big teaspoon knocking on the egg, on the shell of the egg, and the egg does not want to float out because it's not cooked. But I'm so happy you cracked my shell, so I didn't continue life thinking I was just this egg. And I also feel that what my heart really wants to bring Soul Walk for is the same: to give us the experience of streaming higher truth and soul consciousness into our bodies, because it will begin to challenge the limitations and the walls of the personality. I think it's so interesting to observe how much we cling to what we feel will stabilize us, and how much resistance we have to moving, you can say, with truth with a higher love, when it begins to destabilize who we perceive ourselves to be or how we know ourselves and feel safe. And we can say, well, the body knows, but the body is also stupid because the body wants to help us sustain the safety. So it will help us, it will remind us to remember those shitty thoughts that stand for your limitations, because then we are safe.
I feel that the body knows what you tell it.
Yeah.
If it only speaks with the mind, it will speak mental.
Yes.
If it speaks with low frequency food, it will speak low frequency food.
Yes.
If it speaks with the soul, it would lead with the soul.
Yes.
Yeah. And yet, that process of refining and allowing the breakthroughs to happen also sometimes are going through the body. There were many situations and many times that I felt in our mentorship that, oh, your body is reshaping itself from the inside out. I actually remember that there was one moment that I told you, we're not here to grow skin, we're here to grow bones.
Yes. And I could see how I had been growing a lot of skin and how I had not been growing the correct bones, and that a lot of what I felt was exhausting me was energy I spent on mentalizing things, energy I spent on trying to control things, energy I spent on wondering if I was good enough, if I was giving enough, if everyone was satisfied. So all of these silent energy leaks that were just eating away at my system.
And covering you from seeing the truth and
Yes.
living the truth.
Yes.
Can you take us to some of the breakthroughs that you experience during our work together? Like what it means intentionally breaking systems, deconstructing.
Sometime last year, maybe it was the most profound period. I think it was around August. I felt that I have changed so much. God wanted to speak through me with another voice in other ways, outside of any concepts or structures or I had set up for myself. I also really felt this calling of transitioning to English, because I felt that another transmission would become available through that, through me saying, yes, I'm going to do this, even though I'm not eloquent in English, even though I will probably feel stupid, even though I'm holding at that time 100 people that all spoke Danish. And I really entered this phase of walking for myself first, leading for myself first, for my own connection to the divine and for my own mission, not knowing how the reaction would be. So I remember canceling everything that was scheduled for a month and just doing this one thing that I call paradise. I did 13 transmissions, not knowing what would come out of my mouth, if I would laugh or cry or dance or what I would do. And I did it in English. And it was so challenging for, you can say, my personality, who likes to be in control, who likes to have the upper hand, to show up like that.
So much courage and so much light at that moment, and so much truth.
Yes. And it really broke down some walls I didn't know I carried, to go through that transitioning with this kind of transparency. Because what I felt most like doing was to withdraw and give myself space and peace and step out on the scene again when I was ready.
Mm.
And it actually created a lot. Of course, some people rejected me. They didn't want the English. They didn't understand the change. They liked it better before. But it really moved my heart to see my clients break out of their own shells. Some of them transitioned to English also that month. And they saw me spitting and crying and laughing and be turning up all red. And I think it gave them a lot of courage to act upon their own light in ways that they had been afraid to. So that gave me a lot of joy in that very raw time. It was raw.
It was raw.
Yeah.
I feel we can say you were skinless at that time.
Yes, I was skinless for a long time.
Yeah. And then at the same time, what a powerful demonstration of leadership for those who can see. And what a powerful next level self-loyalty it is. Because it is so hard as someone who leads, someone who creates, someone who have her own modality, her own way to act, her own responsibilities, her own community, to say in the presence of everyone, I can only appear in that next level of truth. And I know that for everyone, there's different time, different clock, different spiritual clock, different understanding, different, even the level of integrity, what the meaning of integrity is different within a very small community, within an intimate relationship. We cannot agree on what integrity is. And that there is an expectation for someone that is working with a spiritual leader, with a mentor, a spiritual mentor, that they will provide and they will be completely organized and resolved, not taking into consideration that part of the process is together with you in the room, transforming together with you in the room. There's this, we're speaking a lot about the era of guru being completed. And yet there is an expectation always that the one you choose to lead you will be a guru, resolved. While the real meaning of being a guru is taking something from the darkness into light. Whether it is your stuff or the other people's stuff or a collective stuff, whatever it is, to create this intentional, aware transformation. And how much you stood for your light at that time. To say, this is the best leadership I can give you now. Those who can recognize that this is diamond and gold, welcome. And those who cannot recognize it yet, welcome. Come as you are, because I'm coming as I am. I remember that moments were, wow, really skinless. And so I can still see that light. It's almost like you went through, well, it's not almost like, you went through an awakening of the heart of life, an awakening of the heart of God inside of you. And the teachings are going again and again and again inside of me as we're in this conversation. I feel that it is taking me really deep into highlighting the importance of singularity, that we have an expectation that in the conversation of sharpening your pencil and becoming more of who you are, that sometimes, the mind wants to grab something. What does it mean? I have that. I will do that. I'm going to be that. I'm going to speak about that. And actually what it means is, no, you're dropping more and more into God's presence within you. And that will navigate everything. This is like the ultimate way of answering the calling.
It really is. And I can, right now, actually, I'm looking at how much we sometimes, as spiritual entrepreneurs, get caught up in who we ourselves to be. We get so focused on circling the thing that is the thing that we offer, that we are not available to really go as deep in the heart as our soul is yearning for, because we are not that available to shake the concept, to shake the product, to shake, because finally we are getting somewhere and this is what I'm offering. And I feel that right now, so many people are called to put that aside and to really go inside and feel what is the next level that wants to awaken through the heart. And it is vulnerable, because when you lead a business, you are also invested in having an income and being clear so that people can, choose what you're offering. So it is very vulnerable to go that deep inside and allow yourself to actually not know what the next thing is going to be that I will offer. I don't know even what to call myself, because everything is dissolving. So much light is flooding in, and I don't know what will come of it. It's so vulnerable and it's so important, because we block out so much of our own divine nature by grasping onto those concepts. And I also feel that I feel that people coming to me to get help in achieving the next level of visibility and really coming out with their thing. When I look at their thing, the thing is not the thing anymore. This the thing is dead, but they did not take themselves deep enough into the heart to look at what really wants to come through. So I still have this perception of this is what I'm leading with, and now I want it to come out into the world, but it's actually dead. The fish is dead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I also notice many times that there is an expectation that only the business will bloom. It's a spiritual business. And then you go to private mentorship and you come with an expectation that the business will bloom. And if I'm looking at the year and a half that we were working together, more or less, there were seasons where the business bloomed. It was like, wow, like 100K month and more than 100K month, and with ease and joy and open heart and so on. And there were moments that you bloomed, and you didn't need the money to bloom at that moment, and you didn't need the business to bloom at that moment, because you bloom, instead of becoming at a certain point a slave to the business. And disconnection from source, knowing that this is a spiritual business, which means God is the boss.
That is exactly how it is. And you can say that my income right now is much lower than it has ever been. And my sense of my business is growing and evolving from a really, really healthy and sustainable place has never been bigger. So it's just a matter of time before the money pours in again. But, the feeling inside of me that I am honoring myself, I'm carrying myself from the correct place, I'm moving forward with the correct energy, that is just everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so grateful for everything that has happened, everything I have evolved to be in your presence. And I am also very moved by what really keeps us small. which has nothing to do with how visible we are or how much we understand business, but has more to do with how deeply we acknowledge that we are children of God and how clear we are able to see ourselves in that light. So I feel you taught me things about love that I didn't know before. And it has really also become obvious how our state of consciousness begins in the heart, that our level of heart opening actually decides our state of consciousness, not how many courses we take to become more conscious. There will always be a limit because it really is the state of the heart that decides if we walk in paradise or if we walk on a gray street. I remember when a couple of days after you were here in the farmhouse, I went to Copenhagen and I was called to go to this church. And I was just walking with my entire body filled with the frequency of what happened in our meeting. And I felt that I was not from this planet. I really felt that I was these X-ray eyes on legs. And I looked at the people I passed in the street, and instead of seeing their bodies, I saw their world. And it really landed in me how many worlds exist in the same street. Even though we were all walking there, no one was walking where I was walking. And I was not walking where they were walking. And I really, really appreciate the place I'm walking and where you took me. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't know if there is a way to complete this.
This doesn't want to complete.
So, okay. Let there be light.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you so much. Thank you for listening and being part of this great conversation. You will find all the relevant links in the show notes, as well as a link to a meditation for you to feel more connected to your spirit and aligned with your soul contract. Please, if this episode touched you, leave a review, like, and subscribe. Feel comfortable to share it with your friends, family, and colleagues, because everyone has a calling.